for working people.
Local news, local topics, local conversation. You're listening to AM Beaver County on 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WVVP, and 1460 WMVA. Presented by St. Barnabas and streaming live at beavercountyradio.com.
And we're back on this Monday morning edition of AM Beaver County. We're now on Facebook Live as well, as we're joined in studio once again by the mayor of Ambridge, Mr. Duke McCoy. Duke, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So let's start today by talking about one of the more notable things that's taken place in Ambridge over the course of the last few weeks, and that's the installation of the cameras. And that's drawn a lot of different opinions and a lot of different, accolades or non-accolades, I should say. From your view, how has that gone so far?
Well, I think the community is beginning to accept it for what it is. I think people get the misconception exactly what it's there for, and it's not there to get somebody for running a red light or a stop sign or anything of that nature. It's more for being able to identify vehicles, such as you've heard of the Megan Law, and where children are abducted and things of that nature, and criminal things like possibly robbing a store or anything of that nature. That's the purpose of those. Mm-hmm. They are not there just simply to get somebody for a stop sign. That they're not going to do that. They're not going to use it for that purpose.
Right, and that's a good point too, because there is that sort of general fear that people think, surveillance, they can see everything I do. Well, first of all, if you don't do anything wrong, then it's not going to be an issue in the first place. But secondly, like you said, for minor offenses like that, they're not going to be so stringent as to take a photo of your license plate and say, hey, you shouldn't have done that.
Yes, and our district attorney came to Ambridge and told the people that attended the meeting exactly that that's not our purpose, to get somebody for a stop sign or a red light. That's far from what it's really there for.
Yeah, and that was good on the DA for doing that as well. So, and ultimately that should be a good thing where if those who may be associated with drug rings or something like that, or any major crimes, that's what it should be used for. And for the minor offenses, if it's so major that it's not a minor offense, then it's less of a hey, they're watching me, and hey, you shouldn't have done that. So that's a good sign for Ambridge. Another good sign too, I know we talked a little bit about it last time, was the influx of businesses that are coming in, and new stores, new facilities. Any updates on that so far?
Yes, we've got 4 stores. I just came by where they're putting the Dollar General in, and they're progressing quite quickly to put that store together, and it looks quite interesting. It's going to be much bigger than the smaller one we have downtown.
Right.
It's going to have fresh produce and things of that nature. And in addition to that, we have 3 other stores that's coming to Ambridge. One is going to sell Mexican food, and they have some takeout, like tacos and
yes,
Mexican cuisine. And we also have a Latino store coming in, and a Mediterranean store. But they're going to sell produce familiar with those countries, as well as some additional things that the people would like to purchase. And we're still working on getting a conventional grocery store. We tried before to get Shop and Save, and the ground for the store to go in wasn't acceptable, and we lost that one, but we're continuing to meet with different people to see if we could get a conventional store in there that such as, like, I know we can't get Giant Eagle because they're moving out of the area, but stores of that nature we're trying to get. But we're doing quite well as far as getting businesses in Ambridge.
Yeah, and you guys are done very well too, and again, a vast array of stores too. And what's fascinating about that is that for all the different, stores that are coming in there, Mediterranean, Mexican, all that. One thing that it could provide down the road is it could provide a connection with some of the other businesses that are down in Ambridge as well, and perhaps some of the surrounding areas like Economy and Baden and whatnot, where, places like bars and restaurants could say, hey, they're selling this stuff down here. We've never seen this before. Maybe we can go try some of that.
Yes, exactly. And we have 2 breweries in Ambridge now, which I went by one of them yesterday, and it was quite filled with people, and I was surprised. The streets was full of cars, which you haven't seen in Ambridge for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a good sign whenever you see activity out there like that, because that's what any city wants. That's what any borough wants, and that's what Ambridge is getting, because they're going out in these different directions. They're trying to make for something new, and they're embracing, hey, there's new times. It's not the way things are going to be used, the way things used to be. There we go. And saying that, we're going to try something new and see how it works. And so far it has. Yes,
it certainly has. And we're quite susceptible to looking at different businesses and things that not every town has, as long as they're decent, reliable type businesses.
Mm-hmm.
We welcome them with open arms. And I hope that we could give them some sort of tax incentives that will bring them there.
Right, because at the same time you want all the different businesses to come in, but at the same time the businesses that want to come in, they want what's best for them. They do their cost benefit analysis, and they wonder, is somewhere like Ambridge the place for me? And you guys are willing to help out to make it the place for them, all well and told.
Right, and I've been there all my life, and I've seen Ambridge come and go with quite a bit of businesses, and unfortunately we lost all the steel businesses, and just within the last couple of years, when we lost that business that burnt down, that pretty much finished it as far as steel in our area. But we're working on other things, and we have one business that's considering coming to Ambridge, and that will be a business that sells rental type material and things of that nature on 11th Street. That's not completely completed yet, but we're working on that.
What do you mean by rental type materials?
Well, it could be small machinery or the larger type machinery. I don't know exactly the extent of all of it, but it's quite large from what I understand, if we get that in and it looks promising.
Right, okay. I understand what you're saying. And then that would be promising because, again, it would provide something that's not necessarily there for everybody, in that area, whether it be, south in the northern parts of Allegheny County or up in places, as aforementioned, like Baden or Economy, or even as far as Cranberry, for example, that could provide that kind of service. We're talking with Mayor Duke McCoy of Ambridge. We're talking about the borough and all the good things happening in it. And when we come back, we're going to continue doing that here on AM Beaver County.
Know who's running, know what their plans are, and know what issues are important. Along that line, the Republican Committee of Beaver County invites you to attend a debate among Republican candidates running for governor, U.S. Senate, and Congressional District 17 on Tuesday, May 3rd at the Fez in Hopewell Township. It's just $10 to get in and payable when you arrive. Doors open at 5:30. Debate begins at 6. For more information, email the Republican Committee of Beaver County at chair@beavercountygop.com.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
Beaver County Radio, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
We got a K9 dog. I don't think I mentioned that.
No, you didn't mention that. We're back on AM Beaver County on this Monday morning. We're talking with Mayor Duke McCoy of Ambridge. And Mayor, during the break, we were talking about some of the other things that are going on in the borough. One of the things you wanted to talk about was the streetscape. That was the streetscape program, and there's personnel being involved with that now.
Yes, our streetscape program, we picked a consultant for that, and it will be going from 8th to 12th Street. And once we get that completed, our whole downtown area from 2nd Street to 16th will be completed with streetscape programs. And that's a wonderful situation because our business district will look like a business district should. And it's improving at quite a rapid pace. And we're happy with that. And we continue working on that. And we also have a K9 unit that a police officer already has the dog, and he's asking Ambridge to help him out with feeding the dog and things of that nature. And we have had one in the past, and it helped us quite a bit controlling the drug traffic in Ambridge. And we all know that every town has problems with drugs, and we're no exception. We have that problem. It's not massive, but it's big enough that you need protection. And our police force is doing a wonderful job. Many things as the mayor that I'm not privy to having that information because it's considered protected by law. And I do keep in close contact with our police chief, and he's doing a wonderful job, I believe. And he really surprised me. I've only been the mayor for 4 months, and he is doing quite a job for Ambridge.
Yes, and all of that, too, goes into this general thought process of making the borough better, helping the borough become not just more visually pleasing, like you say, with the streetscape program, but more functional and more responsible through, the canines. And we were talking, I know, last time about the street cleanup program, stuff along those natures, because at that point, it's not just a matter of things looking better, it's the things of actually becoming better. And like you say, every town's going to have their problems at some point, but the less damage there is and the less issues there are, the better it is for everybody else.
Correct, I agree. And one thing I'd like to mention too, as far as police work is concerned, the last time I was here speaking with you, I didn't leave 10 minutes, and I got a call from our police chief that the same thing that you and I were talking about, having problems with cars being broken into on Beaver Road and Duss Avenue. They apprehended the assailants and put them into custody. And I thought that was a great job done. And you talk about cameras. Well, it happened that one of the residents in that area happened to have a camera, and it helped to assist the police to apprehend these people.
Right.
So when you talk about cameras, they have pros and cons, but there's quite a few things that they help.
Yeah, and if that is a benefit to the area, and again, I know there's that general thought of being leery about being watched, and but I think Ambridge is a borough, and most of the boroughs in Beaver County are like this, where again, if it's something along the lines of people being people and not some heavy criminal activity, they're not going to hound you. They're not going to simply be on the lookout for people to arrest. They're going to arrest the people who deserve to be arrested for the crimes they have committed.
Right, and in addition to the police work, we have a couple of interesting things that's going on. Henning Park, we're going to be putting in $1 million playground and a spray system for children to play. And as well as that, we have a road program that is going to be over $400,000 for repairing Ambridge roads. So we're moving in the right direction.
Yes, and on top of that, there's that notion, because, again, whenever I have the mayors come in, whether it be you or Mayor Jones or Mayor Walker, the theme has been seemingly over the course of the last few months, we got to get something for the kids. We got to have something for the kids to do. And, again, $1 million playground for the Ambridge area certainly sounds like a step in the right direction. And that also goes in tandem with some of the recent discussion about helping out the school as far as certain things going on over there.
Well, right, with having a police officer in the schools, I mean, that's a no-brainer, I think, that you have to protect the children in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I raised 7 children, and it would be no expense too great for me to protect them as they were growing up.
Yeah, and I know that there's, again, that issue of, are they being, because again, I think that's sort of similar to the camera situation where people think, oh, are they protecting the kids too much? Are they not allowing them to, have fun and play? And I don't think that's the case at all. It's just a matter of making sure that the worst of the worst doesn't happen. And I think, like you said, there's no cost too great to make sure that happens.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. And like I say, all the towns in Beaver County, they have certain problems, and they address them in a manner in which they feel is most acceptable to the public. And we all have minor things that we have to correct. And businesses, without business, a town can't run properly because you need tax dollars to run your town.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working very hard to bring in different businesses. And certainly the big businesses that are moving out of the malls. I mean, I went to the mall the other day. I went to look at that senior citizens center they have because I'm interested in bringing a senior center to Ambridge.
Right.
And I couldn't believe the few people that was in that mall. And things are changing, different organizations. You got to change with the times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're attempting to do, that if we must take on small businesses to vitalize our town, we're going to do whatever is necessary as long as they're acceptable type businesses.
Right.
That's what we want to do. And you can't always have the big conglomerate type businesses in your town, so you got to accept the smaller ones that people are interested in purchasing their products.
And on top of that, the notion of small business has been growing ever more over the last decade or so, where a lot of people, especially in Beaver County, are pushing more towards small businesses as opposed to the big conglomerate businesses that may draw people in some capacity, but at the same time, a lot of people say, but I really want to go somewhere local, somewhere that's unique, somewhere that's different from anywhere else I've been before, and that's what brings people in.
Right. For example, my wife loves antiques.
Mm-hmm.
She'll get me to go with her to places to look for antiques, and Ambridge has a few antique shops, and they have a lot of beautiful things there. And that doesn't catch everybody's eye, but there's certain people that enjoy buying things that was from the past. And it's quite interesting to tour these places. So,
yeah. And I was going to ask you, too, because you mentioned the senior center. I did want to get an update on that because I know you talked about that the last time we were here, that, there was this push to get a senior center in Ambridge. Where's that process going along?
Well, we have 2 high-rises that's coming to Ambridge. One is already in the works. It's going to be where the old Anthony Wayne School was. They're going to tear that entire building down, and they're going to put a 51-unit complex in there. I believe it's going to be for people 52 and older, somewhere in that vicinity. And then we're going to build another one down on 14th Street area. That's not completely accomplished yet, but we're in the works of having that completed. And that will be a 50-some unit complex. And the one that's at 14th Street is the area where I'm hoping, as the mayor, that we could put a complex down there for senior citizens.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And again, that would provide, again, I think that would create, this area where senior citizens can gather and, live and, have a, sort of outgoing sort of, gathering life with other seniors. But at the same time, it'll also provide an opportunity for, those who are perhaps taking care of the seniors, whether it be a family or a relative, to, come down to Ambridge and then be like, okay, well, now that we're here, let's try some of these businesses out and sort of have a ripple effect.
Right. I agree with that. And I think I told you last time I was here that my wife's from Alabama, and I saw a complex that they just had built, and it was beautiful. And the seniors could come there and enjoy themselves, and they even have meals for them that I think they could purchase a meal for $1.50 or $2. But they could sit there and they do things like play bingo and, different games that older people might enjoy. And I thought it was quite interesting, and that's what tweaked my interest in getting one for Ambridge.
Yeah, and I think that could be a very good thing for Ambridge down the line as well. Mayor, I do thank you for stopping by once again and providing the latest on what's going on in Ambridge, and certainly hope that this continued path of success, whether it be bringing in businesses or any further developments on some senior centers, creates for a good atmosphere. Because, again, it sounds like you've had, a good, strong bond with the people who are in charge of Ambridge, whether it be the police department, whether it be council, and it seems like they have a good developing relationship with each other, and it all seems to come together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Teleform's up next here on Beaver County Radio.
On Tuesday night, the Stanley Cup playoff journey begins once again for the Pittsburgh